Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and this video on coaching is how to delegate when coaching employees. So let's face it, we don't always know what we don't know. We're human, right? Most of us do not read minds. The process of coaching really involves getting to know the person that we're coaching. And we will make mistakes along the way because, again, we don't know what we don't know. The challenge comes from a lack of communication or a lack of really being able to think things through properly. Fact of the matter is we all have different levels of competence in different things. And in order to develop competence in coaching, you kind of just have to maintain constant communication and practice your evaluation powers. So, because we don't always know what we don't know, we have to consider rank of our own self. How much true hierarchical power do we have over the person that we're coaching? That affects the level of influence that we have. We always have to remember that even though we may have the authority to make decisions, that we are always responsible for our own actions. And especially if we're delegating things to people that are under our leadership, we need to always take responsibility for the outcome. And so one of my favorite sayings for coaching is fast is slow and slow is fast. I learned that from Dr. Stephen Covey, the most influential person of the 20th century. He wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and if you watch some of my other videos, you know I refer to this book over and over again, because it really is about listening if you want to be an effective coach, and listening to understand. So when you say things like fast is slow and slow is fast, that means we have to stop and take time to think about what are the outcomes, what is being asked of me, what are possible solutions, and how can we make sure that whoever we're coaching understands what the options are for the solutions. So being able to really think about how to ask the right questions at the right time, and also being able to really think about how we can get the best results in the end. What would that ideally look like? So that's kind of the end that you have to start with. It is think about the ideal outcome, what could that look like, and then co-create it with the person that you're coaching. So, because we don't know what we don't know, as you hear me say all the time, you really have to take time to be slow in making decisions. You got to really be thinking about what does this person perceive? What does this person know? And how can I help this person through a coaching process that helps him or her come to the best solution to take the right action at the right time with the right resources? Now, time is always a factor. So when I say fast is slow and slow is fast, you have to consider the fact that if you are really not understanding the solution or what the problem is, or what the person is competent in, or has a lack of training in, or a need for more training, then problems will happen. And let's face it, we have all been in situations where we've made bad decisions, which has taken more time to fix than it would have if we had just taken time to really think through the right solutions. So, with people, we have to be effective in our communication. We cannot be efficient. When you say things like, do you understand? And people just say, yes, I understand. It really doesn't mean that they really understand. It could mean that I don't want you to think that I'm not smart or that I wasn't listening. And so that's why we have to get people that we're coaching to paraphrase back to us what they were thinking, what it is that we were saying. Help us understand that we know what they were saying. And then if we feel like there's a gap, we can kind of coach them along the way, and staying in the conversation longer will help create more efficiency. Because it's not efficient if we're going like, yeah, do this, and you're just assuming that that people are going to be capable of meeting the expectations within the allotted time, when in the longer run, they may be making mistakes because there was miscommunication that took place. So we have to use the right words, the simplest words in a non-condescending way, in keeping in mind who we're talking with, because different people have different competencies in different things, right? So ultimately, we groom people to be better leaders when we're delegating responsibilities to them that helps them build skills. All skills take time to develop, different times amount for every type of skill that we're trying to learn. And when people face disappointment because they have failed to accomplish certain tasks, it can keep them psychologically from being motivated to take on other responsibilities in the future, and it could keep people from wanting to engage with you as their coach. So you want to maintain an open relationship with the person that you're coaching. You want to help set them up for success, and that means you need to be effective in your communication with them and help them make proper decisions, but get them to paraphrase back, what is it that you're going to do? How will you accomplish this? What do you think are the important things that we should be considering here? So, we obviously don't have power to delegate everything, but the more that we as coaches and leaders delegate to others, it can make our lives a lot easier, because we could put our valuable time into other things as that get our organizations more effectiveness, and it helps empower people with new skills that help them grow with the organization. So that's the goal of being a coach, is we want to continually develop people. We need to recognize that we have an impact on people's morale. We need people to always feel like they are appreciated in an organization. And I've seen too many people in too many organizations that they felt like they were numbers because their leaders did not help them feel truly appreciated. Right? So this thing about appreciation and inclusion and engagement are all seen very rampantly in the literature. And that really means that if we want to be effective coaches, we need to take the time to really understand who we're talking to, get to know them, develop trusting relationships. Remember, we have to give trust in order to get trust. We need to feel like people understand us and that we are being transparent with people, because we don't know everything. We're humans just like they're humans. So we can't pretend to know stuff that we don't know, but we can help them in the decision-making process, because two minds are better than one if they're working together. That's the philosophy of synergy. So more people in the process of asking the right questions the right way can lead to more effective outcomes. And I hate to admit it, but we all have different talents and abilities. And that means that we have to really learn the limitations of people. We may be giving people too much credit when they don't deserve it, because they don't have the capacity yet to do certain things. And so everything starts with a solid foundation. And we have to meet people where they're at, figure out where their foundation is with the needed skills. It could even be the communication skills in understanding what we have. But we can't be condescending to them, because we'll be pushing people away. We just have to really keep checking for understanding to find out where they are in each competency that's required. And then we need to help them get the information that they need so that they can build the skills necessary to accomplish whatever goal is at hand. So coaching is so important, but we don't know what we don't know, and we have to really take time to listen carefully to understand the limitations of each of our employees that we're coaching. So very often, speaking of the unknown, we have to describe the unknown. Very often, people may be consciously incompetent, and we can build people up by giving people step-by-step guidance. And we need to do it in a way where we're honoring people by speaking with them in a respectful way, finding out what they know and they don't know, asking them questions that they can paraphrase back so that we can understand the degree of information we need to give to them in order to get them to the final ending place, right? Then comes the transfer of knowledge. So the transfer of knowledge kind of works the same way. I mean, sometimes there's no need for step-by-step guidance. And we can simply describe what ultimately needs to be done and then simply delegate that to them. And we have to keep in mind that there are people who are consciously incompetent and unconsciously incompetent. So we kind of learn from our experiences in working with them, but ultimately we don't want to lose a team member. We want to continue to grow our people, and we grow our people by listening to them, understanding what their needs are, not creating threatening relationships with people, but meeting people where they are and then helping build them up by getting them the information that they need to be successful. Ultimately, we want to broaden our employees' scope. That means we need to help them become consciously competent, help them know what their strengths are, help them appraise them, and letting them know what you're seeing that's working right. Ultimately, we want to be giving them more responsibilities to help them continue to grow their value with the organization that they're working at, right? So being able to help people become more competent very often is about painting the bigger picture, helping people see things through your eyes. Here's what I see as working well. Here's what I see as not working well. Include them in the decision-making process. What can we do differently? And finally, making sure that we're providing people with efficient support. We don't always know what we don't know, but it would be wise for us to be proactive in creating a list of resources and things that we think people will need to know in order to accomplish whatever the goals are at hand that we're coaching people for. So be wise in making sure that we help people have the right experiences and empowerment to come to the right decisions at the right time, that we're setting people up for success by making sure that we're giving people proper resources and support, and help them grow their competence in a conscious way. So the term "it takes a village to raise a person" is so absolutely true in any organizations. But too many times we get so busy in business as usual that we forget to take time to coach people in a way that entrusts and empowers people to achieve more. We have to meet people where they are by building people up, finding out what they have, what they don't have, what they're good at, and honoring what they're good at to help them have faith in themselves. We need to always be keeping our conversations two-way, transparent, and give people what it is that they may be lacking and build that on a solid foundation. All right, I've given you a lot to think about when we talk about delegating and coaching employees. I double dog dare you to listen to the video again and take some notes and think about what does effective coaching look like to you. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful to you. I know it's going on 15 minutes, and I want to thank you for your time, and I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.